Welcome back to Sister to Sister Chat. I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Denise.
And we are sisters. On this podcast topic today, we will be talking about, is romance dead? Yeah. So let's get into it. In this episode, we'll be talking about how the difference between now versus then when it comes to romance.
Yes.
So we'll be going back to the 1980s. So don't sleep on us, guys.
Okay.
We'll be going back and getting factual.
Yes.
But we just find it so curious how it was back then to communicate with your partner, or even, get to know somebody, go on dates, and how that whole process was back then versus now.
Yeah. So
right away, we want to jump right into it by talking about courting. So, sister, do you want to start off with that?
So basically, courting is when two individuals are dating, but they are leading to marriage right away. They know what they want. They know they both want marriage. So courting is basically that type of thing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people don't do that.
No.
We don't practice courting in our generation, which we should. It's very important.
Yeah.
And you should be dating to marry a person. You know, sometimes people just date for fun now, and just for just saying they got somebody is not really, important. So I feel like they took it more important back in the day because they knew it'll lead to marriage.
And marriage was very important back then.
Yes.
And just even talking about courting, they used to meet your family. So they would actually come over for Sunday dinners. They'll know your cousin, your sisters, your grandma, everyone. They would know everyone at that point, whoever you're dating. That led into courting. So that was more important to them, for them to get that family foundation set right away.
Yeah.
So then they knew that's something that you guys are going to be doing, in the long run, is, involving family. And, right now it'll be kind of weird to have your family meet them right away on the first date, so that's just not something we do. We wait until we need to make sure it's the right guy, make sure he's okay to come around the family now. But I think too, with them meeting them right away, that will probably help you have better judgment on who you're dating.
I agree.
By the time you bring a guy to meet your family, you're in love.
Yeah.
Let's face it, you're already in love. That's the reason why you're bringing him to meet your family. But I think maybe if he got to meet your family beforehand, those red flags could have been caught.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I see more.
Yeah, absolutely. So letters were actually in the equation as well back then. Actually became prominent in the 17th and 18th century during the Victorian era. So with that, they were sending letters to each other. But girl, you can't even get a text back. Okay. So you have the phones in your hands. You can't get that text back. But back then, the men were actually sending letters to their girls,
Yeah.
So I feel like that's definitely very special. And that showed their dedication to you as well, with them sending you a letter. Oh no, he could have been sending a few letters, girl. To different women. Sending it out to the postman. Here are all my letters, but let's stay positive this episode. So he was writing letters to his woman, staying faithful to her. That's what we're hoping. But,
yes, definitely.
That letter writing was very special, and that was a keepsake for her, and she was waiting by the mailbox, waiting for this letter to come in. Like I said, you can't even get the text back, but back then that's what they were waiting for, and they actually heard from their loved one. And we don't write letters as much anymore, so that's something that you should definitely look into and bring back. I always love when my boyfriend writes me letters. I usually keep them all too, so that's something that is special. When you give cards for anniversaries and birthdays, keeping those things as little keepsakes.
And then also, if you keep them, you can show your children one day, your grandchildren, showing them, like, you can write your girlfriend a letter, or your boyfriend a letter. It's different showing of romance. So they won't think that romance is dead. And that's what we're talking about today. Is romance dead? Okay, whose fault is it? Exactly.
So, and that's the thing too, is with writing letters, was when the soldiers had to send letters back to their women, and that was just what it was. They didn't have cell phones or things like that, but actually cell phones and pagers were the next thing up. And pagers were the first thing actually in the 1950s. And they were actually popular all the way into the 2000s. So we actually remember growing up when my mom would have to page my dad at work. And then he would give us a call from where he was at, at work. So that's something that we remember as being younger, and that was their form of communication. So they didn't have cell phones, to text each other, to call each other right away. It would just be hours before they even get a chance to talk again, and that was just how they communicated back then. And we're talking about a marriage for our parents that's almost 30 plus years.
Yeah, definitely is.
You know, that's just how communication was. And we're going to talk later about how marriages lasted longer back then, even with this lack of communication they had. Very little, not even lack, but just very little form of communication that they could do, as far as how it's very convenient for us nowadays. Everything's so convenient and right at our fingertips to communicate with our loved one. But yet, like I said, they don't even communicate with you properly. So that's a red flag, girl.
It really is. Definitely is. Yeah, you have to look at it. Yeah. Because if he's not texting you back, you know, and writing you letters, what is he doing?
What is he doing?
Not dating you.
Like we said, we're keeping it good this episode, sister.
We're trying.
Okay, yeah, we're trying to keep positive in this one.
Also, back in the day, when you had a date with someone, the guy would pick you up in a nice Cadillac or BMW. You'll be excited to ride in this car and stuff. And now you have to drive yourself. Yeah. Because you don't know if that man is crazy or a psycho, or he might follow you. You know what I'm saying? Or no, you don't want anyone to know where you live right away and stuff. It's just a form of safety now that your car has to be your safety for your dates. You know? So, it's not good.
No, it's not good. I mean, it's sad that we need a getaway car on the first date, but that's just how it is. But back then, I do think that's super cute, though. That, you know, you got picked up, you know, he held the door open for you to get in, and, you know, you felt all cutesy. So that's something that, you know, we definitely need to keep alive. So when that romance that's dying out, we need to keep that alive.
Definitely do, yes.
So actually, back then, marriages lasted longer, okay? I'm talking about 50 plus years of marriage, which that actually references our grandparents. Our grandparents have been married for over 50 years, and back then, they lived through that time where they didn't have those cell phones, when they didn't have the pager and things like that. So during that time, like, communication was prevalent when you see each other face to face. Like, that was important. Okay, I'm in your, you know, we're together now. Let's use all this time to communicate, you know, bond again, not, you know, not have those distractions. So I feel like those marriages lasted longer. And I mean, 50 plus years, and like we mentioned, our parents 30 plus years. So that just really shows you that even though they all had the, you know, less, you know, access to communication as far as texting, calling, emailing, even sending those letters, pagers, you know, those kind of things. That's all they had. And, you know, putting that effort into your relationship to keep it alive throughout all of that that really shows you a lot. So that shows you that, you know, you can put in the effort. You know, especially since we're so spoiled by all of these things at our fingertips on how to communicate with each other, you know, right away. You can pick up the phone and call your guy, your girl, whatever. And, you know, it's so convenient. But back then they did not have that. But their marriages lasted longer.
So true.
Yeah.
Nowadays, our generation, we have Facebook. We have Facebook Messenger. We have Snapchat. We have Instagram. So instead of him actually meeting you in person, in those DMs, how is that romantic? That's not romantic.
Not romantic. No.
You know, so I feel like now we need to bring back courting, basically, because it's less romantic. And we need to keep the romance, because if the romance is dead, then what do we have? Just something that's just there. You know, so I feel like instead of saying, oh, he slid in my DMs, it'll be nice to get a letter and stuff. So guys, write your girls letters, and girls write your guys letters. So
and that's the crazy thing too, is like, that is so common nowadays to say he slid into my DMs, that now that is considered romantic.
Like, exactly.
Really? That's where we are today. That's considered romantic, but that's just how it is in this generation. They don't want anything romantic. Like, and that's the thing too, ladies, with setting high expectations for yourself. Like, just be like, hey, you slid into my DMs, but, you know, I need to be taken out. You know, I'm not going to just be talking on these DMs and go straight to the bedroom. You know, that's not something that's going to be useful to yourself. It's going to be a waste of your time, because he's not going to want more than that.
No Netflix and chill.
No Netflix and chill. So that's the thing too, is like we said, courting is no longer existent, and that's something that we really should be doing. There are so many distractions now. So, you know, there's OnlyFans, there's, you know, Instagram, where they can go on there and have those wandering eyes just right in their phone. Like, that's ridiculous. So there's so many distractions nowadays versus back then. They didn't even have anything to look at like that.
Right.
So now there's so much extra cheating that's just right up front because they're so tempted. You know, there's so many temptations now right in front of us on our screen.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. That is a big problem. And, you know, that leads to divorce if you're in a marriage, or that also leads to breaking up.
Yeah.
And that's just really sad that it doesn't even last long anymore,
right,
because of all of these distractions and temptations. And, you know, that's just, it's just sad, really.
It's very sad. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's not good at all.
Sad. And, you know, there's no mystery anymore. So you can go on someone's, you know, you'll get that, you know, DM, or you'll get that, you know, like on the dating apps, you know, that little heart or whatever, and you just go straight to their Instagram or whatever their page is, see everything about them.
Everything.
You already know where they be going, you know, what kind of clothes they like, you know, who their family member, you know, everything, because there's no mystery anymore. And back then they didn't have that. So that gave them that opportunity to get to know who they're with, you know, so they can ask those questions. But now you can see everything that someone's about on their social media pages.
Exactly.
So there's no mystery there, you know. So keep yourself a mystery, ladies.
Definitely,
you know?
I agree.
Keep some things for them to ask you about. You know, you don't want everything to be out there.
No.
Yeah,
I agree, sister. My sister was saying not to settle. Our guys, we don't settle with them. Like my sister said, you know, her boyfriend gives her, you know, letters and stuff. That's very romantic. They both give us flowers. They both, you know, took us out on dates and stuff and actually got to know us in person. So you need to not settle. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you set high standards for when it comes to courting nowadays. Because you can still court, even though it's out of style now. You can still do it because it's going to help you in the long run.
Absolutely. Let them get to know you. So that's very important. And you just want that. If you're leading into marriage, we want those 50 plus years. That's what we want.
Yes, definitely.
Something that we noticed too in this generation is, because no one's keeping that romance alive, they're getting so comfortable to the point where they feel like they don't need to do anything to keep you, you know, guessing or feeling excited about things. It's all the norm. You know, I feel like that's what people get into, that comfort zone where you feel like you don't need to do the same things you did when we first started talking. Yes, you do.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's the thing is, you know, keeping that alive, because there's so much in front of you to distract you, like I mentioned, to the point where now we're noticing marriages end in annulment. Or before you even get to the altar, you're getting divorced.
Right.
You know? I mean, you know, before you even get there, it's already ended. You know, you can't even get down the aisle before it ends nowadays. Everyone gives up so easily. You know, it's just so convenient to be like, okay, well then, let's just get this divorce. You know, back then, I don't even think that was an option.
No, it wasn't an option.
So, and that's the thing too, is like those 50 plus years, now everything's an annulment. Everything's ending so quickly. Even relationships can't even make it 2 months or something. You know, everything just ends so quickly. And that's the norm now, to just see, oh, this person got divorced or this person's relationship ended. It's sad. It's really sad. But back then they had longer relationships, as we mentioned, 50 plus years.
And like you said, I feel like our generation, they give up too fast. And then say you get in a relationship and everybody start changing. The guy stop giving you flowers. The girl stop want to spend time with her guy and stuff, you know, and showing him attention, because men, they want attention too.
Absolutely.
They deserve, you know, to hear them out in different situations and making sure they're okay mentally and physically and emotionally as well. So I feel like sometimes us women, we neglect them, you know, and that's why they get the wandering eye and stuff. So instead of trying to point fingers at him, see what you're doing, you know, and recuperate and start that courtship again, because you want to get, that's how you get to know someone.
Absolutely. I love that, sister. Those are really good points. Why is romance dying? You know, that's something that we really want to know. Is it the man? Is it the woman? To be honest, we don't know.
Right.
But what we're saying is, it's crazy that, you know, the courting has stopped. You know, the sending letters has stopped. You know, now we don't have those long distance relationships where you don't communicate for hours at a time. It's all so convenient. And, you know, pretty much right away, instant, you know, kind of communication, but yet still you can't get that text back.
You cannot get it back.
Yet your relationship is failing within just a few months of being together. your marriage is ending in divorce.
Mm-mm.
Like, these are crazy things that are happening in this generation today,
right,
that we really need to bring back romance.
Yes.
We don't want it to die out.
No.
So romance should not be dying out with our generation.
Yeah, I agree. We need to bring it back immediately. And I feel like relationships die because of not romance. And also, it can be saved with romance. You know, some situations people get divorces for, you know, real situations, like deep situations.
Absolutely.
But if it's just romance, fix it. Both of you fix it. You know, it could be the man and the woman. It doesn't matter whose fault it is, you know. But I feel like you should start recuperating and rekindling that romance with each other.
Absolutely. The thing is, romance is not dead. We need to just make sure it doesn't die out. So we need to bring back the courtship. We need to make sure that, you know, make sure we're going on proper dates. You know, ladies, making sure that the man is meeting up to your expectations. We do not settle around here, and you do not deserve any less than what you deserve. And that is the very best.
I
so
agree.
We're saying that you really need to make sure that you're getting to know that person and getting what you want in a relationship. When it comes to romance, you deserve romance. Whatever you see your love life as being, make sure you're getting that.
Make it happen. And also, you know, bring back romance, bring back letters, bringing your girl flowers, give him flowers, you know, go out on dates and just rekindle that romance, and make sure that you're doing your part, and make sure whoever you're dating, they're doing their part, because you don't want to date someone that thinks romance is dead or feel like it's not important. If it's important to you, all women deserve to have romance, and men as well.
Yes. So thank you so much for watching us today. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Please stop right now. Go subscribe. But we will see you next Wednesday. Until then, bye.